Oh my goodness, hello. Sorry it took a little bit longer to get here. Had to do a few things that suddenly came up right when I hit the stream button. One of which was my cat wanted to go outside, so I had to throw her outside. So she's in the backyard, and I had to open up my window to have her yell at me whenever she wants to come in. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to whoever is here. I saw yesterday that some of my, like, I think it said, like, I had like 21 unique viewers or something like that yesterday, and like 9 of them were from Denmark. It's interesting. Last night as well, a couple things happened yesterday. I should say, not really last night, but yesterday a couple things happened. I got a shout out from Midnights in Valhalla, so I appreciate Midnights in Valhalla for shouting me out. It's a friend of mine I've known for a while. Shouted me out to 70 viewers, so I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Out of that, I had 2 new followers. Demon Slayer DJ is one of the followers that I got while the stream was off, and then a name that I really like, Dong Stomper. That name will show up since it's the newest, most recent follower on top of my screen in a moment when I switch the scene. At the top of the screen, it'll say Dong Stomper. One of the things that I don't understand that didn't work is it said yesterday I got a subscriber, a Prime sub from MTKTF or however you, I never remember your name on Twitch. So I appreciate that. I don't know why it didn't show up. Honestly, I don't know why it didn't show up at all, but I appreciate the Prime sub. My door's slamming shut because I have a window open. So today, it's gonna be a chill. I'm an hour later than I expected to be, but alas, it's okay. I was having a few difficult troubleshooty type stuff. Because I wanted to work on Houdini today. I know yesterday I said I was going to work on Blender, but fuck that. I want to test out Houdini. I'm not really used to Houdini all that much. I'm not good at it by any means. I'm still, one would say, pre-beginner. But one of the things that I thought that we could do together is we could essentially learn how to create a city grid, procedurally generated city grid, which I think would be kind of cool. Kind of cool to work on that together. So if you have Houdini, you can follow along. If not, and you just want to chill and chat while I learn this, then by all means, you can do that as well. I'll kind of read out things as we go. Most likely fuck up a handful of times. Why is my door slamming? 1 second. Right, and before someone broke into my house, but no, we're good. What was I saying before my door rudely slammed shut? Yeah, just gonna be working on making learning how to create a procedurally generated city grid, which I think would be kind of cool. That was one of the technical issues that I was having earlier. Was I I didn't have Houdini installed, and then I didn't have the licenses set up, um, which was not fun. I do use the non-commercial version of Houdini. I don't pay for it. I don't use it for commercial purposes. I just use it to learn. I've never once used it for a commercial reason, so I just want to make that known. I'm not breaking any laws here, breaking any rules. Anywho, before I switch the scene, I'm going to run the 3 minutes of ads so we can get that out of the way. That means the pre-roll will turn off, remember. I don't do it because I want to. I do it because newer viewers who show up that aren't subscribed or don't have Twitch Turbo, they don't get hit with the ads. I know ads suck, and I apologize. But I'm going to quickly run them real quick, and I'll catch you guys soon, and we'll be looking at Houdini once it's done. But take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay. Hello for everybody that is still here. If you're still here using an ad blocker, or you're using or you're subscribed, or you're doing some fancy stuffs. But we got the pre-roll going. My chat is not popped out and I can't see that, so let's quickly get that situated. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to switch it to Houdini now. Hopefully it looks okay. Oh, shoot. There it goes. Turning off. Hopefully it looks okay. It's the first time I've used Houdini on this stream, so bear with me while I... That's a little high. Okay. That might be too big. Slightly, but then I can jostle it over to the left. See, you guys get to see everything. You guys get to see me fucking things up as I get. Yeah. I'm gonna jostle it one more pixel, 2 more pixels. I'm gonna make it slightly bigger. That's too big. Well, we fucked it, guys. We fucked it. If I do, I'm gonna run into the same issues that I had yesterday. Yeah, so that's too small. Also too small. The ads are almost done, yay. The issue is I'm looking at something that I don't have a lot of control over in terms of the size that I'm looking at, which is the poopy thing. Oh, what if I do this? Ooh, actually, I may have fixed it. Yeah, I can actually see what I'm doing now. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Actually, we can move it up slightly. And then we'll drop it. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, that's more in the box. It's like I have never done this before. Still working out the kinks. Anyway, so the ads are done. Welcome back, everybody. We are now looking at Unity. We're not looking at Unity. We're looking at Houdini. Houdini Apprentice Non-Commercial 20.5.584. That is the Houdini version I am using. As I said before, I am not good with Houdini. I've never really used it too much. So, you know, we're learning together. Like I said, we're learning together. What I want to do, actually... Can I do this? Maybe? Not without breaking my neck. Ah! Alright, that's fine. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. But we'll figure it out as we go. No, that's not what I wanted to click. I haven't used this in forever. So if there is anyone who does know Houdini, I know you can just laugh at me. That's not what I want to do. What one do I want to use? We'll use that. We'll use that. I'm looking for something specific. That's what I want. Bum, bum, bum. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I did. But we did something. So, I'm assuming what a trace node does. So what does it say here? Okay, so now that we've done all of that, a trace node, trace geometry node reads an image file and automatically traces it, generating a set of faces around areas exceeding a certain brightness threshold. Gotcha. So the image, if I'm not mistaken, is whatever's white, essentially, will be traced then, and then the image that has, if there's black on the image, then it won't trace, from what I gather. So that's good to know. The reverse generation geometry node allows you to reverse or cycle the vertex order for all faces. Right, because we want... So I set it laying down. So I assume what the reverse does is it sets all the points on the top instead of the bottom. That's what I'm assuming that is. Then the resample geometry node works natively with all curve types, including polygons near Bezier. Curve inputs, there's Bezier approximately. It doesn't. Resamples one or more curves on surfaces into even length segments. So that's what the points are then. I see. Okay. So that's what all that does. That makes sense. That makes sense. Now that you have a city grid, you can break out the different city blocks into separate work items. That will allow you to each block to generate buildings. You'll set up a TOP network to save out each of the blocks at the same time. You create an object for visualizing selected work items to verify that you're getting the results you want. So we want to no. What? I guess I should read out what I'm reading. I guess I should do that. So I will. In the TOP network, press Tab Geometry Import. Click to place the node. Set geometry source to SOP node. So geometry source to SOP node. Then click the choose operator icon, which was here. Change it to city blocks out. Null node. And then hit accept. Then under storage, it's said to leave store geometry as set to the external file. Right there under data extraction, set copy from class to primitive. This will store the files to disk so that they can be retrieved by the next TOP node. This is especially important if you set up a TOP network to distribute tasks to a compute farm. Rename the geometry import node to city blocks. So we'll do that now. City blocks. And from the taskbar at the top, click on the Cook Selected Node button. From the taskbar at the top. It's gotta be here, right? Cook the output. Cook the selected node Cook selected node button. So that one. You could also select it and hit Shift G. Oh, okay. Shift G to cook it. You will see dots representing work items appear as the node is cooked, which is like those dots there. Control middle mouse button, click on the dots. Control middle mouse button, click on the dots. That opens up a window that you can't see, unfortunately, to view the work item attributes. Some attributes, like index, are basic tops attributes that work that every work item will have. Others are specific to the type of work item. You will see that each work item is associated with an output file. You can right mouse button click on a work item to choose view work item output to see the geometry it contains in a separate geometry viewer. TOP nodes create work items for each task that you ask it to perform. These are represented on the TOP node as dots, and you can use them to visualize their status and can select them individually to evaluate how that work item is progressing. When all the work items are fully cooked, the node gets a check mark and the completed work items are colored green. Sorry, bear with me. Okay. Apologies. When you first create a TOP network, a local scheduler node is created to organize tasks as they are cooked. The local scheduler points to your local computer and will use a percentage of available cores to cook. You can set total slots to equal to CPU count less 1 option to match available cores. You can also set up scheduler nodes for HQ, deadline, tractor, and Python to send tasks to a larger compute farm. This will allow more work items to be processed in parallel to make your graph more efficient. If you want to speed up processing on your network, select the local schedulers. What? Select the local scheduler node. This one. Set total slots to equal to CPU count less 1. Now future cooks will be faster because more processors are being used. To see the work items in the viewport, you'll need to set up a work item viewer. In the network view on the left, press tab, file. Place the node and rename it work underscore item underscore viewer. Work underscore item underscore viewer. Normally you would point a file node to a file on disk. You will do this at first to find the files, and then use a different method to acquire the work directly from TOPS. Double click to dive inside the work item viewer node. And in the parameter pane, click on the geometry file. Yep, geometry file selector button in the file. Double click the geo folder. Go back. Slides. I don't know if that's the one that I'm supposed to do, but we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. So imports the saved out geometry as a numbered sequence. Add a color node after the geometry sequence. Oh wait, shit. I don't even need. Oh yeah, I do need that. It said scrub through the timeline. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Yes, it says so scrub in the timeline to see different pieces of geometry loading in sequence. There's 73 pieces that have been saved out to the disk. So as you can see, scrubbing through the timeline, and it looks like it's getting everything. I mean, it ends at 72, but you know, whatever, works for me. Seems to be working. Instead of linking the display of the city blocks to the frame number, link it directly to the TOP network. Click on the file node. Oh, click on the file node. Change geometry file to the following expression. PDG output. Oh, PDG underscore output. This means that instead of loading the files from disk in sequence, you will load whichever work item is active in the topnet. At first, you get an error because there aren't any work items being output from the PDG network. From the active work item menu in the geometry network view, excuse me, select different work items to select them in the scene view. From the active work item menu in the geometry network view. Rainbow worker. Is it that? Oh, okay, yeah. The color moves with the selected geometry. The geometry related to that work item will appear in the viewport. In the top net, you'll see the dot and the city blocks highlighted in yellow. Gotcha. Yeah, so doing that, and then it'll... I'm just not seeing it appear in the viewport, though. I'm seeing it appear there. And I am seeing it down here. I just don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Is it linking? Click on the file node, change the geometry file. Okay. Should I hit reload geometry? No. Is it looking for that? Ah! I was just doing the wrong button. Haha! I was... Look at me being a numpty. Okay, so now it's working. Now it's working. Okay. To create buildings, you want to set a fixed base height and a random height variation so that your buildings are not all the same size. You could set up these attributes at the geometry level of the city map, but you can also assign them here in TOPS. This will make it easier to make changes at the TOP level and, if needed, down the line. So in the TOPNet, add an attribute create TOP. The TOPNet. No. Attribute. What did I say it was? Attribute create. TP set generate when to each upstream item. Each upstream item is cooked. Click on the plus sign under the float attributes to create a new attribute, then enter the following name, base underscore height, value to 10. This will ensure that all the buildings will have the minimum value of 10. You can adjust this number later if you want the lowest buildings to be a different height. Click on the plus sign again. And enter the following name to height variation. Set the value to rand at PDG output. It looks like that's gonna be index. Sorry, PDG index times 20. This will create a random number from 0 to 20 using the work item attribute index as the seed. When you build the network for creating a building, you will add this value to the base height value to determine how tall each building will be. Select the attribute create node. Press Shift G. Shift G to cook it. In the 3D view, you'll see footprints because you haven't created buildings yet. You'll still see footprints because you haven't created the buildings yet. If you middle mouse click on the work items, you can see that each one has a base height of 10 and height variation that is a number between 0 and 20. The attributes have been generated in this TOP node, but they aren't being used yet. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That is working. It would have been possible to add attributes in the geometry network of the city grid by adding them in TOPs. makes it easier to make changes to them within the context of TOPs. Attributes are an important way of feeding important information through your pipeline. Setting them up properly is important. Part 4. Create buildings for the city grid. Where was I? Create buildings for the city grid. You are now going to use a ROP geometry node to create a simple building to see what you are doing in the viewport. Add an ROP geometry output TOP. So I want to ROP geometry output. I'm assuming attached to that. Rename it to create buildings. Turn off the use external SOP option. Right mouse button, click on it, and right mouse button, click on it, and choose generate node to create the work items. Generate node. Nodes in TOP depend on the current. Save changes before cooking. Save and continue. These are gray work items that have not been processed yet. In effect, they are placeholders for the tasks that will take place once you set up this node. Click on one of the work items. This will produce an error in the work item viewer network because this node isn't producing any geometry yet. Correct. That's what happened. Okay. Double click on this node to dive into the geometry level. I wish I can. You know what? I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Create a poly extrude node. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Create a poly extrude. No, that's poly draw. Don't want that. Create a poly extrude node and place it between the incoming and outgoing. Or the incoming and output nodes. Rename it block offset. Set the inset to 1. And under extrusion, turn off the output side options. This will inset the buildings to allow for sidewalks. Oh, okay. I see what it means. Yeah, okay. What? Sorry, bear with me. Bear with me. I know I'm saying bear with me a lot. I'm trying to keep this chill. I'm just answering some messages back on my phone. Okay. So we have sidewalks. Next, add a fuse node after the poly extrude node. Okay, so fuse node after the poly extrude. Set snap distance to 2. 0.2, sorry. Oh, not 0.2, 0.2. To remove any lines that are small, note that you are seeing something in the viewport. Note that you're seeing something in the viewport even though the work underscore item underscore viewer nodes are showing errors. You'll fix this later. Create a second poly extrude node. After the fuse, rename it building underscore height. Set the distance to... Can I? Okay, my Houdini's gonna look weird for a minute. This is a lot of... You know what? No. I won't do that to you guys. So set the... Where was I? So building height, yeah. Height, and set the distance to base underscore height plus at height underscore variation. Oh, shoot. Getting all these Houdini errors. Make sure the distance parameter is highlighted. Right mouse button, click on the parameter and choose copy parameter. And choose paste relative references under the division. Edit the resulting channel reference by dividing it by 2. So it should be that divided by 2. Now you can see a grid of floors and windows. We're getting somewhere. I think. I'd like to think. Um, I'm also trying to keep track of my cat. In the extrusion tab. Yeah, extrusion tab. Turn on the front group. Wait, front group. And name it building top. Then turn on the side group. Name it building side. You'll use these to add detail to the building. Add a new poly extrude node into the chain and rename it window underscore frames. Set the following. Wait a minute. There we go. Now I can at least see the geometry. Instead of just what it was like before. Of just that. So the block offset did that, right? You can see the slight changes. You can see the slight changes. So the block offset did that. Fuse got rid of any extra lines, I see. Then building height made it taller. And then now we're doing the window frames. Go to group to set the following. Group to building side. Inset to 0.05. Divide into two individual elements. In the extrusion tab, turn on the front group, name it window out. Add another new poly extrude node. rename it to Windows. Set group to window out. Distance to negative 0.05. Oh. I keep getting errors every time I go, not every time, but I keep messing up. That's cool. Oh, fuck. That's probably why I keep getting errors. I keep fucking using the middle mouse button. I don't mean to. So we're going to add a new poly extrude. Wait, I have a feeling I'm missing something here. Why is it stuck? That's what it should look like. It should be subtle. It should be subtle. It shouldn't be like it was before. Okay, now we actually have something that looks somewhat like Windows. And I should do it negative 0.05. So they go in. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We got a building. Add a new poly extrude. Rename it extend roof. Set group to building top. Distance to 0.5. Add another poly extrude. Call this roof edge. Set group to roof. To building top. Inset 0.3. In the extrusion tab, turn on front group, name it roof out. Do that, rename it to roof with another extraction node, set group to roof out, and distance to negative 0.25. Add a color node to this. Group to windows out. color to dark and gray. So that's essentially what the building would look like, I assume. I think that fuse is supposed to get rid of those though, right? Well, no. Whatever. I think it still looks pretty cool. I just don't know why it's like super. Oh, it's not. Okay. Sorry. It was because I'm selecting everything. That's why. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, go back up one level. And create on the create buildings TOP. There should be something that says output file to @pdg output. Wait. I'm missing something here. I don't know where it means by back one level and on the create buildings TOP. Do I just change this? Oh, wait, no, hold on. I set it to... I change it there. Yeah. Okay, I change it there. Yeah. Okay. Silly. That's what I was missing. No. I just need to change the F part. So I need to change this part. Silly Billy, that's me. PDG output. No, and I don't want output. Oh my goodness, I keep screwing it up. I want index. Ah, that looks more like it. Okay. This will use the index file of each building instead of the frame. Click on the ROP fetch tab. What would be the use case for this, if you don't mind me asking? So, the use case for this would essentially be, so making a procedural city is like, let's say you have like a game like Minecraft, right? But instead of instead of blocks, it's cities, right? So if you wanted to have a game that would create, or a game or anything really that would create like worlds or um, like provinces, I guess. Like think of like sorry, not Minecraft. A better case scenario for that would be Civilization, maybe like a Civ game. Um, and you create a city, right? This, once it's finished, would theoretically create the like a randomized city, a randomized looking city, if that makes sense. That's probably the best way to kind of use case it, or say a use case. Similar to how Manor Lords procedurally makes housing units. I assume so. I'm unsure exactly on how Manor Lords is like, but like once I'm done this, it should theoretically be like every time I generate a new seed per se, then it'll make an entirely new, completely different looking city with varying sizes, size buildings. Sorry. I guess is how to put it. Um, Because like I'm trying to think. Because like, how would you implement it? Could you implement it so it could be used as a procedurally generated map on an FPS? Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could, because I mean, you'd have to make it procedurally generate like on a not massive scale, but like the scale would have to be like a lot bigger, right? Because like if this is one building, you'd want to have to like be like, you know, oh my goodness, I lost where the camera is. You'd have to be like super tiny kind of thing, right? Like you'd have to be like kind of like almost like this level, and then like looking up, right? Maybe even smaller, honestly. But yeah, I mean, like if you generated it at a big enough scale, you could. I would say because I mean, like an FPS game, you'd have buildings that you're able to go into. I would say that a better case would be kind of like a World of Tanks or War Thunder. How you have the tank maps on like those kind of cityscapes or whatever. You can have it kind of like a procedurally generated like World of Tanks map, for example. And granted, this is obviously very basic block scenario, right? I mean, you could eventually have it set to. I know with Houdini, you can if you give it the proper geometry, you could have it build like interiors as well. But I'm obviously not skilled nearly as skilled. I'm not skilled at all in Houdini, so but I'm sure a pro could do that. So like a scenery asset, yeah, yeah, it's basically could be yeah, you could make it as a scenery asset, yeah. It's basically like anything where you need like anything where you need need a procedural city essentially, right? Um, I forgot where it was. Right, I was figuring out this part. Right, so use the index file. Save your scene file. Select the create buildings, TOP, Shift G to cook. Go back inside the work item viewer, remove the color node so you no longer see red. Yeah, so like right there, it's generating the buildings on each of those blocks, essentially. And each one is like procedurally generated in that sense. Yeah. It's crazy what you can do with Houdini. You know, like I said, this is like super basic, right? But it's still pretty cool in my mind, nonetheless. Up until now, the work items have processed very quickly, but this node takes a little longer. You can see the progress wheel, which shows the completed tasks in dark green, the in-progress tasks in yellow, and the queued work items in gray. This lets you observe the node as it completes the assigned task. The object level of the TOP network also displays work item progress for all the tasks in the network. Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to 3D print like a cityscape, you can probably use this to do that as well, right? Because you can get this to export FBX files and stuff like that. But on that note, I see that my pre-roll ads are back on, so I'm going to do the. I'm going to go for a bathroom break and also also run the 3-minute ads in that case as well. So I will be right back in a moment. Oh my goodness, I am back. And just in time too, because the pre-rolls are basically done. So now we need to combine the buildings. Once the buildings have been completed, you'll want to bring them back together to create the city. This involves a partition node called Wait for All and a geometry import. You will also add in a city core where the buildings will be taller than elsewhere in the city. Speed up the processing of the tasks. You'll use something called PDG services in the TOP network. View select tasks. What? Combine the buildings. Okay, to speed up. In the TOP network view. TOP network view. Select tasks. PDG services. Here you can see the service set up. And ready for you to use. Close the services window, then go to the ROP fetch. ROP fetch tab of the create buildings TOP. I will find it. I'll find it. Oh, ROP fetch. I see an ROP fetch. Okay, hold on. Of the create buildings TOP. Create buildings TOP. What? I saw a thing that said ROP fetch. Okay, I might have to search up where this thing is. Oh, it's over here. I'm so stupid. So stupid. Service. This will speed up the process of this TOP node. Save your scene file. Then select the create buildings TOP and press Shift D to dirty it. Then Shift G to cook it. You'll see that it is much faster than it was last time. Okay. Add a wait for all TOP node. So take all the work items that the ROP geometry node generates, combine them into a single work item. It will also prevent any descendant tops from cooking until all the work items above have completed cooking. Add a geometry import TOP. Name it building merge. Set generate when to each upstream item is cooked, and set merge operation to import merge all geometry. Okay. Building merge, press Shift G to cook it. When the network finished cooking, click on the work item on the final building merge node. Oh my goodness. Excuse me? I don't think that's I don't think that's supposed to happen. Something is clearly not right here. Okay, what went wrong? Okay. Shift D. Shift G. Okay, so that did it. Yeah? So let's do... Wait for all. Yeah. Then a geometry import. There we go. Hey! I don't know what I did last time. Create a color node, wire it to... Wire it into the chain after the resample node. Set the class to primitive. Color to black. I don't know why it wants me to create a sphere, but I'm creating a sphere now. Skit type to polygon. Uniform scale to 5. Add a color node to the output of the sphere. Set class to primitive. Color to green. Transfer color. Attribute. Transfer. Ooh, actually, no, I don't want that. Attribute transfer node after the base color node. Okay, uncheck the points checkbox. Set primitive field. Conditions tab, set distance threshold down to 0. One width to 30. Oh, I see. There you go. So essentially what it did was, if you can see, the green basically added a green sphere, right, to permeate on those nodes, if you will, like those, I guess where the base of those buildings are. And whatever is more bright green gets taller. So you can have like kind of like a city core, if you will, or like the center of a city, essentially. Which that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And with it, I can also kind of move where that sphere is, so I can put it in this corner if I wanted to, or like kind of just off the corner, we'll say. Right, go back here. Do this, and then nothing changed. Why not? It'd be this one, right? Right, so that'll change that. No. Oh, there we go. Hey. We got there in the end. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Okay, sorry. I am being told that I have to go do something. Yeah. I'm being told that I have to go do something. Which means I have to stop streaming for now. I will be back later. I will be back when I'm done. And when I come back, we'll do some Project Zomboid. We'll do some Project Zomboid. I'm still not finished with this, though. From what I kind of scrolled through before the stream, and it eventually gets into where there's the gaps in between the buildings are like actually streets, and then there's a way that you can isolate select buildings as well to make them taller. So there's just like every now and then there's random tall buildings, if you will. And then I have another grid, essentially, that is like, it'd be like that big, essentially, like a bunch of these small ones all together, to see how that would look as well once it's generated. So I'm going to eventually continue with this. I want to continue with this, but for now, unfortunately, we're gonna go to the the ending screen. I will be back though. I will be back in due time. I will be back in due time. But for now, I'll talk to you guys later. And I'll be back with more Zomboid later on. Take care and peace. I'll catch you later.